All right, welcome here to Inside Lions Football. With me, as always, is the head coach, Dan Burack. All right, Coach, we're here. Last regular season game of the year. We got Archbishop McCarthy. Before we talk about that game, let's talk about last week. So Glade Central comes in, tough loss, 22-19, had the lead most of the game. Tell us about how that game went down and kind of what you guys take away from that.
Yeah, I mean, we knew, Glade Central's a really good team. I mean, they're coming in. At that time, I was 7-1. So, you playoff team that we might see again in the playoffs. So, it's playoff style football. But I think offensively, it was one of our best nights. We really controlled the game. We had the ball. Definitely dominated on the time of possession. Defense was playing great throughout the whole game, and then towards the end, some things just kind of didn't bounce our way. We had a costly turnover, didn't punch it in. When we needed to, when we had to settle for a field goal. But I couldn't be more proud of our boys. They fought the entire time. Hats off to Glade Central. They're a good team. They were able to kind of fight their way back into that. But again, that's kind of been our kind of the tale of the season. Where every game that we've been in and that we've lost, it's been really close. And we fought. So I think that's just going to help us as we get ready for tonight against Archbishop McCarthy, who's a really good team, and then also going into the playoffs. We'll see where we fall, but I think when God gives us that little bit of adversity, He does it for a reason. I think that's really been, the key to our success this year.
Yeah, and I know we don't like moral victories, but I think a lot of people, maybe outside of this locker room, would have thought a 3-point game is a good result for us. How much do you look at that and say they were a district champion, experienced team, and it was a 3-point, it was a 1-possession game with us having the ball late? Yeah,
I mean, they're a good team, and we're a good team. And when I look at that, and inside this locker room, what I told our guys is there's a lot of unknown things outside of this locker room that a lot of people don't put together. We were here all summer. Our season technically started back in April and May, and so we worked then. We worked all through the summer. We're here Monday through Saturday, pretty much putting in the time. So when we played this season, we put on some guys that are tougher in our schedule. But again, I think that's just testament to how hard these guys work, because in this locker room and within our guys, we know that we can compete with anybody in the state. I feel confident in our guys to get it done. So even though they're a good team and they had the accolades and all those things, it's it showed that we can hang with anybody.
So you talk about a tough schedule. So Archbishop McCarthy, another one of those tough teams, going down to Miami tonight. What do you expect from them? They're
a good team. I mean, they're really well coached. Both sides of the ball. They're kind of simple, but it works for them. They're doing a good job. I think the coach down there has really rebuilt that program up. But they're very sound in what they do, and so we're really sound in what we do. I think it'll be a good test. I'm really excited about it. It's just a good opportunity to see our guys compete, especially against a much larger school than us, to go down there and really get ready for the playoffs.
So, speaking of the playoffs, we've been sitting at that 6th seed in the region here for a few weeks. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but it looks pretty set that that's about where we're going to be. So knowing that, and knowing next week we've got to bye, how much do you start looking at these last couple of weeks and this week as playoff preparation?
Yeah, so I mean, we got, we're going to see where God puts us. Next Thursday they'll come out with it. We feel pretty confident falling in that 6th spot. If we drop to the 7th spot, we kind of understand, who we're going to be playing. There's a lot of different variables tonight about where people will fall. Glade Central wins the Muck Bowl tonight. That could change the rankings. Bishop Burack had a tough loss against Palmetto, so that could affect the ratings. But really and truly, our key is, focus on tonight, get through it, and then next week, kind of when we go to that playoff preparation, is let's clean up our fundamentals. Let's take it, let's really dive into film. Let's look at what we do well. Let's look at what we don't do so well and kind of fix those things. But really, it's kind of like a reset on the season. It's almost like next week is camp. We got to go back and we got to clean up all the fundamental stuff that we need to look at, and then really start putting together, the guys in the right spot, depending on who we're playing.
So before we close this one out, let's talk for a minute about special teams. We don't talk about them a whole lot, but they had a really good game last week. Kingston had a couple of big field goals for us. Juan's done a really great job pinning teams back, and then we blocked some kicks as well from the defense on special teams. So what can you say about that group?
Yeah, I mean, we had a really big kickoff return. Got called back because of a hold, but I mean, young guys that are stepping up on the special teams, we like to tell our young guys, like, you might not get in on the first O or the first D or in those rotations, but special teams is where we need you guys to, really step through. You talked about Juan, but I think of a guy like Cohen Muir, our long snapper. He's always the first one down there, making sure we can pin balls deep. Levi had his second punt block of the season, which came up huge. Chase Croto, young guy that was really getting in the mix. He's excelled, his production levels gone through the roof. Recovers the big time punt block. Kingston, he was hitting the field goals that we know he can make. He's cleaned some stuff up with his kicking coaches, and it was really good to see him, excel in that part of the game. Like you said, Juan just pinning people deep, it's an added weapon. So I feel really good about where we are special teams wise. I think it's kind of clicked with these guys about understanding that there's three phases to a football game. You have your offense and your defense, but special teams is those are those plays that can really ignite a game and really kind of change the way. A lot of people don't think about it, but we put a lot of time and effort into those things. So I was really happy to see our special teams unit get to work.
So let's go back. The last thing, we're going to go back to Chase Crow as a defensive guy. When you see him get his helmet ripped off, and he still, with his helmet off, goes, now he got flagged for it.
Yeah. But
he goes and makes a tackle with his helmet off. How does that make you feel as a defensive-minded coach?
I know Chase was beating himself up about it, but that's one of those things as a coach, you're never going to say, hey, I just want you to stop. I'd rather him take the 15, want him to keep himself safe. But when you see that, especially from a sophomore, running down the field without his helmet with that crazy look in his eyes, it just is testament to the kind of culture we're trying to bring back here is just hard-nosed football, not caring about circumstances, just go and get the ball. So to see that, to me, it was a really special moment because it showed a lot of maturity. It showed bravery. We had talked about, we've been in the book, in the Bible, talking about David and Goliath. And, to kind of see that, it kind of resembled kind of David, personality traits, running into the battle, fearless, not needing any armor and going and attacking your opponent. So it was really awesome to see. And again, that's kind of, that's that culture that we have on this team where guys are they're gonna give it their all no matter what. If they have a helmet, they don't have a helmet, they're gonna get it done. And I couldn't be more proud of Chase. Especially he gave got baptized before the season started, and he's just been on fire for Christ and just a really good spark for our team.
Well, let's hope these guys get it done tonight. It's a tough one, but we're gonna go up there and just like we always do, fearless, just like Chase was in that game. So
oh yeah,
we'll be in Miami tonight, 7 o'clock. Archbishop McCarthy. For you guys coming out, we'll hopefully see you there.
Yep, go Lions.